Hi, guys.
We're live.
It's me, Jason. And I bet you were wondering how it is that I always show up so perky.
That's right. How do you show up so perky?
Well, it has something to do with this old car battery and the jumper cables Chris has behind his desk.
What? Yikes. Well, speaking of car batteries.
Oh, hi, welcome. I already welcome.
I had you do it twice.
That's not what you do.
I did.
That's not how you do this.
I did, and I shall.
No, you shan't.
No, you shan't.
What's going on, Mo? Sarcastic
in,
Grandpa,
everybody.
that Shy Cat, Iterator, Michael Holtz, Dark Mockery. What's going on, everybody? Hello.
We're so glad you're here.
Welcome back.
Today is Tuesday.
Welcome back.
Dad's back. Yes, Dad came back from the store. He did not abandon us.
Milk and smokes, children. Milk and smokes.
Great.
I don't smoke. I do like milk.
Great indie band. Milk and Smokes.
I do like milk.
Papa Chicken, That Chai Cat,
Chai Cat,
Tadpole,
I don't call business trips vacation. We live in two different worlds.
Car Battery Tuesday. Let's go. That's right. That's right. That's exactly correct.
Let's
Lord,
bring it back into the room.
Yeah.
you're right.
Let's
Thank
bring
you.
that back into the room.
I like that $10 toy from wherever I got it.
That dude's serious.
He just told us to get our act together.
Let's bring that back into the room.
Hey, let's get a round of applause for Jason. He
What'd I
showed
do?
up. He's back. This one's not as exciting.
I feel like I should get applause every day now that you've done that. I feel like
That could be arranged.
I could do the Queen wave.
Yeah. Let me see.
Jen made me watch the original Naked Gun
The original Naked Gun.
to prep me for going to see the new Naked Gun.
Did you see the new Naked
We have
Gun?
not gone yet, but she wants to. But she said she had to go and watch the old one. So she was watching the old one, and we watched the old one together. And I remembered how horrible those movies were, and that's exactly what makes them so wonderful, is how horrible they are.
Are you a big Seth MacFarlane style fan? Like his writing, Family Guy, Orville. Are you that fan? Because if you are, I bet you'll like it because he executive produced it.
The new one?
Uh-huh.
Oh, okay.
So
I mean, it's going to be like the old one, right? Oh, no, it says the new Naked Gun is from Seth MacFarlane, though.
yeah, it he's funny. I
Chai
like his
Cat, yeah,
stuff.
I was at Gen Con. I left Friday morning, got there late afternoon Friday, took the booth team out for dinner that night.
Nice.
We had a good time. Then I got up early on Saturday. I had meetings all day Saturday. I think I was in the booth for maybe an hour and a half total.
Oh.
Not much at all.
Mhm.
So I didn't get to see hardly anybody at the booth. Customers that I didn't know, I get to meet a lot of new people at the booth. Talk to people about ProCrow and stuff. It was great. But I had meetings all day Saturday, and then I was up at 3 a.m. on Sunday and off to the airport and back here by 6 a.m.
Did you walk the show at all or not really?
No.
No.
Only to go to one of my meetings, we had to walk clear across the show.
Oh, okay. So
But no, I didn't go to a single booth out of looking.
That's
I only
right.
went there out of being
Ne-
required to.
Total necessity.
Yeah.
Welcome in, everybody.
Yeah. That's what it
Naked Gun
was.
was pretty okay.
Don't go expecting the laughs of the first movie. It's another current day action comedy reboot that said it was fun to go to the movies. Yeah.
Silent Seth, I see you, Asmodee booth. Oh, nice. I
You
see
saw me at the Asmodee booth? Oh, yeah. Yeah, I was hanging out while they gave me Rebels. I have to paint Rebels, it turns out.
Oh,
I am supposed to fight Dallas in a big broadcast live stream Star Wars Legions deal
when?
where it's going to be me and another person, each with 600 points, fighting against his 1,200 point single character in Star Wars, who he says is not Darth Vader. So he said it's not the Emperor.
Oh.
So he's writing rules for some single figure that's 1,200 points, and I don't understand what that's going to be.
Oh, wow.
So he's been doing that with MCP.
Oh, that's cool. Rebels are... I was doing that. That's cool.
I do like some of the stuff that they posted of the Imperium and Stormtroopers, their lives, and how the rebels come in and they're just terrorists, you know?
The rebels are the terrorists.
There's a whole way to look at it. Like that whole story can be told from the opposite direction of people that were faithful in the Empire, and it
And
makes
now
the
they're
rebels
just-
look horrible.
And now they're just getting bombarded by the rebels.
Yeah, it makes the rebels look absolutely horrible. The stuff I've seen, which I love. I'm
That's-
down for it.
That's funny.
It makes it fun. All right, folks.
So, what are we doing next? You were doing the steel the last time we were here.
Yeah.
So
that's where we pick up.
now, what's the axe gonna? So for everybody tuning in, welcome. Last week, Jason did a majority of this guy on stream, and then we had Jordan and I on Friday. Jordan did his own yellow style one of these. He did a yellow workup on one.
Traders.
Trade.
Let
Well,
him paint my model
no,
on stream.
those were his.
You let him paint the same model on stream, you traitor.
I did.
I meant to get mad at you, and I forgot. But
Why?
now I'm mad at you again.
Why?
That's not how that works.
What do you mean?
He stole my thunder.
No, he didn't. He was yellow. The other guy was yellow, and he had a thunder hammer.
When will they learn?
Oh no!
When will they learn?
People were asking you about yellow armor the day before. I'm like, oh my gosh, what if we used Hyrex Brown and then he did a dope yellow coverage one, and it came out great. Kind of. It was all right. No free pub for Jordan. I get no respect. That's right, Tadpole. No respect here. Welcome in, everybody. We're so glad you're here. Just so glad you're here.
Just so glad
I'm
you're here.
so happy for all of you. Tapple Jackson, I really liked seeing the Hyrex Brown for the first time. Yeah, that's why we did it. I love Hyrex Brown. It is a amazing, obviously, like under yellow, it's awesome. If you did Hyrex Brown with sunset yellow, you could do your entire Imperial Fists that way if you wanted to go easy mode. Which the sunset yellow, too, is awesome as a colored zenithal over that. I'm glad Jason is back to keep Chris in check. Nibling, I was a professional businessman all last week. I was very professional business.
Don't worry, Chad. I don't believe him either, and I saw some of the clips.
What?
I saw some of the clips.
I was very... Oh, the K-Cup thing? Yeah, that was... I didn't know what that was. Apparently, that wasn't even a K-Cup. So I was lost.
Don't worry, Chad. I kept tabs.
Monument Baby J says, Philip did that and it looks awesome. Yes, Philip did do that. And Baby J said, I betrayed Jason by finishing mine on stream. Ooh, Baby J. Calling you out.
I mean, we've seen his models, so not real worried about
Let
it.
the paint do the talking.
Not really worried about it.
Goopster says, any update on sprays for Canada?
No. Not currently.
Is there a close tone in normal PA, Tadpole Jackson says, for Hyrex Brown?
No. Not really.
Hyrex Brown.
It's kind of like a warm brown
With
dark,
a dark
umber
yeah.
kind of a thing going on.
A mix of dark umber and warm brown.
I feel like is where I would go.
Baby G says, ouch.
I mean, if you want to come to the party, Baby J, you got to be ready to play.
Oh, Mary. I was just pressing all the buttons there. There you go. Baby J, we're so glad you're here in spirit because you're here in chat. And that's what I mean by Baby J. Ladies and gentlemen, give Baby J a hard time.
What?
Baby J's in chat.
Yes.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh.
In a very long way. You know.
I don't understand. I don't understand you, Chris. You're not understandable.
That's actually extremely accurate sometimes. I try to be.
You're not understandable, Christopher.
You know what? You don't make any sense.
You don't make any sense.
Baby J says, I'm hearing the sound of a gauntlet being thrown. Baby J, you're canceled. That's it. I banned you.
Dang.
Shall I pick the gauntlet from the ground and accept this challenge? I don't know, Baby J. We'll see if you don't end up, I don't know, repriming that model.
Oh.
I said, chat. I said it yes.
Top rope.
I said it yesterday. There's a 20% chance that Baby J is repriming that model. So don't get your hopes up.
I thought he was happy with it.
Yeah, but he's happy with a lot of things.
No, he reprimes when he's not happy with it.
I don't know about it. Brushes at dawn. Baby J says, Jason, name the time and place, and I'll be there.
For what?
For painting gauntlet, I guess? Question mark?
Why?
Because you calling him out.
Well, but I have nothing to prove.
You have nothing to prove?
Huh?
Hey, Travis Cedric, thank you for that sub. Now, Jason,
Sir.
this is Payne's Gray and Bright Pale Yellow?
Yes. Back at it. I want to go one layer brighter with the Payne's Gray, Bright Pale Yellow than what I did on here. It's all just very sketchy right now. We'll tie it all in when we do the white blue as a highlight, which may not make sense that we spend all this time going, from Bright Pale Yellow into the Payne's Gray, and then we turn around and do white blue as the final highlight rather than the Bright Pale Yellow. But the Bright Pale Yellow looks a little weird on its own. It mixes well with the blue, but it doesn't do a very good job of standing out as a highlight on its own. So bright neutral gray, bright pale yellow, something of that range is where you want to find yourself with your actual final highlight on this.
Carlos says, quick question. I tried the skin workup you did, and for some reason, I feel like I cover my undertones too much using Shadow Flesh, or should I use a lighter tone? Question mark.
I mean, Shadow Flesh works really well. If you're covering it too much, you probably just need to be looking to stop a little bit earlier as you get that coverage going. And I know that's the hardest part when you're doing underpainting, is figuring out where the stopping point is, right? Because, you paint very thin. It looks one way when you put it on the model, and then you got to wait long enough for that to cure to figure out what you're really dealing with and decide if you're going to go ahead and take another stab at it, layer by layer.
Stab it. Yeah, and something that Jason's kind of reminded me about is, use less paint as you're glazing and doing that filtering to start, right?
Yeah.
Like, you can always add paint back. You can't take it off. Well, you can't take it off, but it's better to do thinner layers. If I'm saying that properly. Now, would you use anything else color-wise besides a bright pale yellow here for this mix?
How do you mean? Like, if I had to use bright pale yellow, what other colors would work? Well, you've seen me do it with white blue all the way from the start.
White blue, right.
Yeah.
Got it.
That works really well.
And you prefer the bright pale yellow, why? That's more my question. Why do you prefer like a bright pale yellow rather than just like a bright neutral gray or something?
I mean, I use all. Right, on this particular model, I used the yellow because I felt like it was going to keep the blue kind of in line with the gold we had done, right? Give it a little bit of warmth rather than just, turning it into a super pastel version of itself with the pale or with the white blue. But you could have done either. You're just looking for a way to tint and brighten up your base color. So if you use blue black or Payne's Gray or dark neutral gray or whatever, you're just trying to figure out a way that you can get a little bit of brightness step by step that you're happy with. So all of the above work just as well. Up to you.
Carlos says, I think that's where my issue is. I don't thin enough for the skin.
Yeah, you need to thin it. And like the first layer, when you watch me do that, if you go back and watch that video again, you'll notice that like the first layer doesn't have a whole lot of skin tone that actually hits the model.
Yeah.
You can start to see the colors change a little bit, but not a whole lot. And then it's the second coat that starts giving you the feel of skin. And each subsequent coat after that gets you closer and closer to actually just making it whatever skin tone you've used, in your case, Shadow Flesh. And you just need to be careful to not have it become so much Shadow Flesh that, like you said, you lose your underpaint.
That Chai Cat says, seriously, thank you guys for all you do. I've learned so much just watching your streams the last 2 months. Made both my first successful wool blanket and leather backpack on my Votan with texturing.
Awesome.
I'd still just be slapping on a base coat and calling it good. Well, that is definitely why we're here.
That's awesome.
Thank you for sharing. Yeah, we love to hear that. Artistic Outlaw. I've been experimenting with non-metallic gold using dark green brown as a base, but would like to have a darker starting point. What is a good way to get a similar tone to dark green brown, but darker?
You can start adding in either like black green or one of the dark browns into it to shade. You know, Babe J and I will talk a lot about tint, tone, and shade. And when you tint something, you add a bright color to it to brighten it. When you tone it, you add a gray or some sort of mid-tone neutral color to keep its value the same, its brightness the same, but to desaturate it. And then when you go in and shade, you want to find a dark color. But in all of these, I try to stay away from white, black, and true gray as being what you add, because they can desaturate too quickly and leave you with something that doesn't feel quite right. So I will always look at the color that I'm trying to darken or brighten and say, okay, what do I have in my arsenal of paint colors that would go along with that, right? So if you're using, you know, the dark green brown, what are the component parts of that? They're in the name. That's why we name our paints the way we do. Green and brown. So take a dark green or a dark brown, realizing that whichever one you choose is going to skew the color towards its favor. If you take a dark green, it's going to make it more green. Take a dark brown, it's going to keep it more brown. And then just darken it up. That way you can create a shadow for it very easily.
Volty, thank you so much for that Prime. That sub. 16 months. Really appreciate it. Carlos says, yes, you guys are a godsend, and the amount of improvement I've seen in my painting just watching your videos. That's awesome. I love that.
We don't mess around. You know, we like to have fun here on stream, but when it comes down to it, we're just like, here's how to do this.
That's right.
It's like,
That's
which a lot of people appreciate. And I'm glad we love the fun we get to have on stream too. But it is nice to just be able to say, you know, here's how you do it. We get that comment all the time from like our wet blending video.
Yeah.
People all the time are like, you know, in all my years of painting, nobody's ever just said in, 3 minutes what you did. Yeah. They always, add in a bunch of other stuff.
Yep.
And we're just like, here's what you do. Here's how to have fun.
Just
Boom.
do this.
Then we tell some fart jokes live on stream. We usually have a lot of people that are like, I wish you guys didn't talk so much on the stream. Less talky, more painty was what the comment was the other week.
Yeah. I saw those comments.
Yeah, it's pretty abusive.
Yeah, you know what?
How does that make you feel, Chris?
Well, the problem is that when I stop, then people get concerned, and then I get messages or I'll get comments like, Chris, what's the matter with you? What's going on?
Having a rough day?
I'm like, no. I'm doing what you told me to, chat. I'm doing what you told me. Q says, can you explain the tint, tone, and shade again? I'm literally taking notes now.
Oh, yeah. So when working with any color, you will be faced with a point where you want to get a lighter or darker version of that color to use for highlight or shadow or whatever, right? It's just inevitable. Maybe you have a color that works well with it, right? You can use orange brown, dark orange brown. You can find colors that work really well together and do all that for you. Or you may want to just go ahead and figure out how to brighten and darken a color. It's always good to understand either way what's going to get you a good result. And so when we tint, we are brightening up a color. Okay, that's what that means. And to brighten up the color requires you to put a lighter color into it in the mix, right? Now, what is that color? What color do you want to be using? That's up to you largely, but a lot of people will say white, and white is a great tint, but white then has the ability to make things too pastel very quickly. It strips the color. We call that desaturation. right? Think of saturation as the intensity of the color within a mixture. And so gray, black, and white desaturate quicker than any other colors because they are true neutrals, meaning that they don't have a color associated with them to kind of help them balance out the color they mix into. You put black in there, you just darken it up and strip the color out. You put white in, same thing. You brighten it and strip the color out. So you have to be careful with those. So instead, what we talk about is using a version of the color that you're trying to tint, tone, or shade. So in the case of what I'm doing here, I'm using a bright pale yellow in my blue. Not that blue has yellow in it, obviously, but because it has a color to itself. So while it will brighten it, it will also shift my blue into, in this case, because the pale yellow isn't super yellow, it doesn't make it green. But if we were to really get down to like microscopic details, it probably does make my blue a little warm in the green tone because of the yellow. Okay, just mixing blue and yellow. But it means that it's not just pushing it towards, you know, a grayish tint of my color. The same thing holds true when trying to darken a color. If I were going to darken Payne's gray up, then I would want to add something that was in the range of blue to do so, in most cases, rather than black, depending on how dark you want to go. Like if you want to create a true deep shadow, then maybe you do want to just jump to black. That's up to you. Right? And then tone is where we keep the color the same brightness. You're not trying to darken it or lighten it. You're trying to just desaturate it. Right? And that is where we typically use a gray. And that is the only time that I really say that's where you should start. Right? Is that if you want to tone, you want to keep a color the same brightness it is. You just want to strip a little bit of the color out of it, you know, and start like a mid-tone shadow color for it or something like that. Then you're going to want to look at adding a gray that is the same brightness as the color you're wanting to change and mix those together. That make sense?
Makes sense to me.
So you need to find what is the corollary to your white, but as a color. So you'll see me use, you know, pale pink for red to mix in because it'll brighten my red, or a flesh tone for red because red has yellow and magenta in it. So you could pick colors that are yellow, magenta, you know, even orangey to brighten it up rather than white, which gives you a very bubblegum color very quick. And you don't always get the opportunity to kind of straddle that line of red that you're looking for before getting to that bubblegum pink. And it can make something like a Space Marine not really look the way you want it to. It starts looking very Barbie very quick. And you may want a gritty, dirty red with a highlight to it. So use something in the red family to use as a highlight rather than white. You know, or I like warm flesh, you know, colors like that.
El Noveno says, what color would you use to intensify gray shades? Purple, maybe green, question mark?
To intensify
Gray
shades of gray?
Yeah, gray shades. Intensify gray shades.
Well, if you're painting with gray, then yeah, blues and purples in the shadows work really well. It depends on if it's a cool gray or a warmer gray, really. If it's a warmer gray, then you can use, you know, even, you know, orangish browns, greens, things like that. If it's a very cool gray, then blues, purples, things of that nature work really well. You'll see me all the time using purple, obviously.
Midwest War Game says, first time chat, welcome in. I know we're painting a BA, but do you all have any painting videos on painting BT? I know we are painting a BA, but do
Black
you all?
Templars. Jordan, I think, didn't Jordan paint a black armored Marine, like his Marine captain in Terminator armor at one point?
I don't remember.
Jordan still on here?
Back.
I feel like he painted his like Marine Terminator captain from the latest box set with the Tyranids within the last year. It would be in the archives.
Yeah.
If so.
I don't know. Grand Deceiver says, it's guidance like this that has Monument changing the way I paint. That's why we're here. And by we, I mean us, as in Jason answers those questions. But we will put paint on the model.
Chris is hard to follow sometimes, but what he means is...
No, that was extremely clear. I don't know what you're talking about, Jason.
This is hard to follow sometimes, so don't worry if you don't get it, because neither do I.
Baby J says, I have the Black Templar guy I painted on stream on my desk. I nailed it.
I don't know that that's anything like what Jordan sounds like, but I'll let you guys discuss that.
Hey, I'm Baby J. Here you go. You're welcome. You're welcome, Jordan. Philip says, I changed the way I paint because of Christopher. I see his stuff and say, I never want to paint like that. Philip, burying me. Missile. Wow.
I thought you were going to fire him.
No, I won't. I'm going to let that one sit and marinate. Let my hatred build.
Okay.
You know?
Good plan.
Zilfer, yes, I did. I did paint a cool dragon. I'm just defending Jordan. You're all canceled. How about that?
What?
It's called the Banhammer, Philip. You, Kenny, because I'm going to lump Kenny in there, and Baby J all sitting there laughing. I know what you guys are doing. Oh, yep, I'm going to do it. Lumberjack Tim says, that was a great Monument Baby J impression. Thank you. Thank you, Tim. I've been working on it for a long
That
time.
was really bad.
It was so good, dude.
Did you just call me dude?
That's right, man.
Here we go.
That's right, my man. All right, all right.
Here we go. It all starts like this, chat. This is how the end begins.
No. We're gonna keep this serious. We're on that train. We're painting.
This is how the end begins.
We're watching
chat.
some non-metallic steel be painted.
All right, now we go to white blue.
Ooh, that's a big jump.
Straight up
This
white
is the
blue.
jump. This is the jump. This is the jump, chat. He talks about this jump a lot, and it's happening.
So the most difficult part for most people when doing non-metallics or
Is this
reflective
jump.
surface painting, we call it, is to know when to go from your mid-tones to your brightest color to get that shine. And the earlier the better, because you can always come bake your mid-tone back in. But if you go too bright, you spend a lot of time hassling with how to darken the whole model up, and it becomes a real bummer. So
Zilfer says it. The jump where it just magically becomes metallic in appearance. Yes, that's exactly what this jump is. It's a good way of putting it. Midwest Wargame says, I've moved to almost only Pro Acryl for my hobby setup now. Nice. That my LGS started having all y'all in stock. Also, why the change in tub to toothpaste tubes? ?
for the basing textures, because they last longer and it's so much easier to use. If you asked, I bet if you asked any of the companies that have made basing textures for a long time, they would, if they were honest, they would all say the same thing. We wish there was a better way, because it's always just made it very, very difficult to use, because you have to dig, the more you use, the deeper you have to dig your brush in there, and it fouls a brush up really bad. And then it gets dry. Nobody who has used the tub regularly has ever gotten all of the material out of a tub. Right?
Yeah,
unless you're doing like an entire project all at once, right? Nobody gets all the use out of a tub. Nobody. it just dries out. You usually lose about 1/3 to 1/2 of it, depending on how often you actually use the stuff. Can you pop in closer?
Sure. Ooh.
So that's the whole reason. When we started looking at doing the Expert Series acrylics, that's when it really took off. And I was like, hey, we should look into the tube style production and see if we can't do bigger tubes and, you know, allow the textures to benefit from this whole changeover as well. And once we got that proven out and they worked, it was like, yep, too easy.
Easy switch. Q says, sorry to come back to the tint and shade talk again. No apologies. But can you give me examples of tinting / shading very vibrant colors like Rogue Hobbies without desaturation or desaturating?
Well, okay, what color?
Yeah, Q, give us a...
Like the dark hot pink?
Yeah, you can get a little bit more specific, Q.
Need to focus a little bit.
Yeah.
You still got Baby J focus going on.
There we go.
There we go.
Perfect. Mine Phil says, I used the basing tubes last night for the first time. Game changer. Just put it straight onto the brush.
It's so easy.
Yeah, it is. It's
something we don't think about because we've been dealing with all of the textures being the same for so long that we just think, oh yeah, that's the way it should be.
Yep.
I'm with you on that.
I was the same way I reacted to them the first time, right?
Yeah.
It's just because our mind are so used to a certain way of doing something.
Yep.
Q says dark hot pink works.
Yeah, give me just a second here.
That looks great.
All right, let's take some dark hot pink real quick, and you know, because you have a tremendously vibrant color, right? It's kind of a mid-range value, so it's neither shade dark or highlight light, so you may want to take it in both directions. So it's a good mid-tone. Okay, so this is a perfect kind of example of how to take a color. Can you pop in on the palette by itself? How you can take a color and darken it up. So when you're dealing with something that is a largely magenta color, my preference to shade it would be something in the purples. I like dark plum for this, right? Because it has a little bit of reddishness. You could obviously do a purple that has more blue and cool it off, but let's just show you what dark plum does, right? It feels like a natural dark version of this. Then for brightening it up, I'm probably going to use something like her. I don't want to use something that's too yellow, so let's stick with pale yellow on this one, right? Not bright pale yellow, but I'll just use pale yellow at first. Has a little bit more yellow content than the bright pale yellow that we're using.
Jason, do you need one of these cards?
Nah, it'll soak up too much, I think.
It's okay.
Nah, we'll go without it for now.
Okay.
Right. Actually, yeah, give it to me.
You mentioned that you tried those before.
Yeah. So, yeah, you can switch back over to this and zoom us in.
Yep.
So if we start with just a, dead center version of the color, you're going to run through this with any color that you paint that is the main color of your model. So if for some reason you were painting, Emperor's Children, and you wanted your Emperor's Children to be this color of pink as the base pink color, right? Well, then I'm going to need to bring in a shadow. So if I have a dark plum shadow, on its own would look really good. But then when I go in between, the problem with the paper is it soaks up all the paint, so I can't blend right on it. But let's do this. I'll get a good mix here, 50-50 of the two. right? And then we'll kind of be able to go between these two colors this way. Right? And then if I keep adding and blending in the dark hot pink to it, eventually I get to where I'm just dark hot pink. So I've got that nice blend all the way through to this color with the dark plum mix, and then back this way as well, right? So that gives me a really good vibrant continuation of the mid-tone into my shadow. But it's picking this color that is the hard part for a lot of people. And so when you're looking at this, what would be a good shadow? A lot of people would put black in, and just to show you what black would do, I'll grab some satin black. It grays out the color so bad and soaks the vibrancy away almost immediately. Right, so if I paint this color on here, as I draw it down, right, notice how, yes, it gives me a darker version of the color, and that's just black and the dark hot pink. Now, if I add more of the dark hot pink into it, notice how I lose vibrancy of color almost immediately. It starts getting way gray, right? So that might work in the composition that you're building, right? There's times where you do that, and it'll work great, right? But there's times where you want to keep that vibrancy. This is the way to do it. Pick a color that has some aspect. Like if you want to say that the dark hot pink is a reddish pink, great. That's what makes it the hot pink, right? Then you want to take something that probably has some red in it, right? Now on the pale yellow side, I may not want, a pure pale yellow. It's almost the color of this card, right? I may not want like a pure pale yellow as my highlight ever, yeah. Right? But if I take the dark hot pink and mix it into that, yeah, see how I get that lightened color, but I haven't lost any vibrancy. I haven't moved towards white, right? And I can continue to do more mixing in that to get a brighter version of it that still doesn't turn me into, too pale or too desaturated of a color. I still have a good pink going on. So now I've been able to go through this whole scale from dark to bright by using colors that feel like, now the yellow might throw you, but remember that in red is magenta and yellow. So when I'm highlighting anything that's in the warm spectrum of reds, even though this is a pure magenta and adding more yellow would give me more red, it winds up giving me a really firm foundation for mixing, okay? And then anything that's in that purple, dark space, and since we have dark plum, that's kind of a hybrid, dark purple that leans into the red, I'm in a red center, and that's the way I go, okay? Now, if I were going to do this with blue, right, if I were going to take in her line and I was going to take ultramarine blue, right, now we've done a warm color, what do you do for a cool color? We already have those colors out here, right? Because I would take the ultramarine, right? I've got a good dead center color here. This paper soaks up so much. Pale blue that still stays fairly vibrant in that shade of ultramarine. Right? So you can scale that pretty well too. I don't wind up graying out. Each one of these colors is a brighter or darker version of blue. I don't go to gray anywhere. Same way I don't go to gray up here. Each one of these is a different value of my center color. It's picking the right color to add to it. In a blue, you're pretty much blue. Cyan is a primary, so you can just pick a dark blue and a bright blue and you can get yourself there. Now you can also do cool things with like the dark plum into the blue works really well. Warmer shadows on a blue. So you start looking at ways that you can come in with a base tone and then grab some of the dark plum, right? And you can get something that scales kind of in to a purplish tone for your blue. And you can work that back and forth how you like.
Nice.
Right? So you can come up with some really cool things if you understand how the colors are going to mix, what they're going to give you. But there's the ultramarine that shades itself into a more reddish shadow using the dark plum. All of these are better options than a color that has no color. And by that I mean your white, your pure gray, like it's white and black, and then if you mix white and black you get neutral gray. Those three colors technically have no color to them when we talk about the color wheel. They aren't on the color wheel. White is not on the color wheel, gray is not on the color wheel, black is not on the color wheel. Technically every other color is, it's just blends of the colors that you see there. Like brown isn't on the color wheel, but it is because it's orange, right? And so you can find all of your other colors through that by either adding blacks and whites and other colors to them. But it's those colors that aren't traditionally on the color wheel that you kind of want to stay away from for shading and tinting. Because they turn your colors into grayer versions of themselves. Now, if doing a very war-torn, military, kind of desaturated look on a tank is what you're going for, then graying it out has some things. Like Chris is painting a Titan right now. You may not want your Titan in a war-torn environment to be vibrant in its shadows and vibrant in its highlights. You may want it to be gray and beaten and dirty. And if that's the case, like, I don't know that I would use this on Death Guard. I would probably use black browns and almost blacks to shade my colors and grays and whites so that you suck all the color out of it to tell a story. That could be, in our world of grimdark, that's a lot of the case. But if you want to keep colors vibrant, that's the way to do it.
Nice. The Mo you know.
We know Mo.
That was a great example. I am going to clip that, chat, which I did. So, God bless America. Nigel says, do you have a color match for Color Forge's Imperial Purple Primer?
No, it's kind of like a hybrid of dark purple and royal purple.
And royal purple, you said?
Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that.
It's like if royal purple wasn't quite as red.
Yeah.
Can you pop in closer? I don't like the
sure.
distance on the far away.
Yeah.
You can zoom him out a little bit. That seems a little too close, like an in-between.
How's that? That's 500.
Don't we have an in-between? Between the far out?
This is my far out.
Oh, okay, yeah.
This is 200. I
zoom
can
in on this one.
Yeah, there you go.
There, yeah.
That's what you're looking for. Q says, thank you so much.
Yeah, definitely.
I'm painting super vibrant video game characters, so I really want to desaturate. That was very helpful.
100%. Yeah, it's tough, right? Because when you do it in the way that you think you should, add white or black, it just never turns out the way you want it to, I find. And so, steering it into other colors. And sometimes they're not colors that you necessarily think of, right? I don't know that everybody grabs dark plum off the shelf. But what it shows you is that it's not as important to have dark plum, hopefully that's your takeaway, as it is to think about a color that you think works well with your center midtone and go from there. Just staying away from, black, white, and gray, unless you want to desaturate them.
D-Fresh is saying, so would a black and white Zenithal style underpainting do the same thing to the colors you put on top?
100%.
As in desaturate the colors, question mark?
100%, yeah. Now, because you're not mixing them in, they have less of an impact of the graying out until it moves towards the shadow when the color or the highlight where the color takes over. Like, you know, putting yellow over white will give you a vibrant yellow and will not blow its color out because you're not mixing the two. But where you have a very thin yellow that moves to white, obviously it desaturates as you get to the high point. Like if you put a contrast paint on, that's the whole point, that it desaturates the yellow out of it and turns into this bright highlight as where it doesn't really stick, and then turns more yellow where you have the yellow imbalance the white. And same for the blacks, right? So it is different. Don't get me wrong and think that it will gray it out the exact same way, because you're not mixing, right? You're layering. And the two can have similar outcomes, but not identical.
Sam Miniatures says, excited for you guys to be at Meeplethon. I'll be judging the lavender brush teaching classes. Luckily, I use mainly Pro Acryl, so I'm happy to teach with the great paint line as well.
Awesome.
Nice.
Thank you.
You says, so essentially, your underpainting is a fancy zenithal using color instead of black and white, question mark.
It will make your colors look better if you don't use black and white, and you find a color combo for your underpainting that matches what you're going to paint over the top of it. It doesn't mean that white and black don't work well in that scenario, right? They give you light and shadow, and because you're layering, they can look pretty good, as we all know. But yeah, if you wanted to do like yellow, you might be better suited doing something, I don't know. I like going over oranges, but that's just because, like for my shadow, I would use orange, and then maybe something like bright pale yellow, and then do yellow over the top of that with my zenithal for like Imperial Fist or something. So that, it helps to accentuate that color at both the shadow and the highlight, just like we mixed.
If Pro Acryl came out with a color like Citadel's Bugman's Glow, I would buy every bottle created. Bugman's Glow. I don't know what that is.
The skin tone, like a skin highlight.
Bugman's Glow. Interesting. Silver says the transparent range is so fun to use, especially through the airbrush. Yeah, that's what Baby J was doing yesterday.
They're really good. Oh, is that how he did his Imperial Fist?
Yeah, technically Friday he did the what was it? It was Hyrex brown with magenta and then with some transparent yellow over it. Looks great. I think it was magenta. I'm trying to remember what it was. Carlos says, any recommendations on how to stop paint and primer for rubbing off while handling? I've tried gloves and that. Oh, you've tried gloves like that with no luck. Rubbing. The
reality is you're gripping the model too tight. There is no real answer other than, I do everything with a cork. I attach to a cork, and when you see me put my fingers on the model, it's very lightly touching the surface.
Handle.
I'm not putting a lot of pressure on there. I'm using the bulk of the pressure that I apply is on the cork at all times, so that helps keep that stable. I will rub paint off of things like spear points often, and so just at the end of painting, I'll go back over that, with color. But there's nothing else to tell you other than that. Don't handle the model too much. We all suffer from it. Every painter on the planet has the same problem. And it's really just try to make sure there aren't huge spots at the end of the day so you can fix them all quickly at the end of the model.
Valhalla Painting, thank you for that raid. 25. Welcome in, Raiders.
Welcome, everybody.
Panic Bomb. Chris's sidekick Matt Varnish would probably help. He's not my sidekick. He's a part of the team.
If you have such an issue with it that it's really just bumming you out, then yeah, matte, putting a matte or a gloss varnish in between layers can help a lot. it's a time killer. So I would say it has to really be something that's driving you bonkers before I would, suggest that you do anything like that.
Valhalla says, "Hi from France.
Hello.
Welcome in."
We have an office in France.
That's right.
We just recently opened up Monument EU over in France, in Plumé, over in the kind of the, I don't know what I'd call that, the west central countryside of France. In
The West countryside.
Brittany.
That link right there is the direct link from our office in France. You can order direct from our office there. So check it out. With us, real Monument Hobbies employees.
Real?
We're taking over.
Slowly but surely.
Dripstick, what's the workup on the non-metallic steel? Question mark. Remind some of the viewers for the
Payne's
steel.
gray and bright pale yellow. And those two colors just kind of blended into my midtones, and by adding more or less bright pale yellow to each layer, and then now it's white blue going over the top rather than the pale yellow by itself. The pale yellow over the blue, you can do it. It will look dirtier.
Dirty.
The pale yellow will give it a weird highlight. So I choose to generally switch over to bright neutral gray or white blue for the last jump here.
Carlos says, "Okay, less death grip, maybe. LOL. Maybe I can try. Maybe I can try as you have there a big cork handle.
It works great.
Handles of some kind definitely will change your game.
Yeah, it works great, but it is really like I never want to grip anything too tight. I always wind up like if I find myself gripping the model too tight, especially when I'm using my pinky, a lot of times I have to let go of the model and shake my hand out and relax my pinky, because your pinky doing that grip will cause your forearm to jitter.
Yeah.
It's not your forefinger and your thumb, it's your pinky and your ring finger that cause you all the problems. So you'll notice how most of the time those are sitting loose, and I like the cork because it's just these three fingers that hold it.
Right.
And this you can hold a pretty good death grip on and not get over hours of painting a lot of arm fatigue. If you start gripping something with your ring and your pinky finger, then your forearm starts to fatigue a lot.
Yep.
So just from ergonomics, I like the cork. It's the perfect shape.
High Plains Drifter says, "Hello, Mr. Slowfuse, longtime viewer.
Hello.
Welcome in. Any recommendation with your line for a violet red color? Violet red color.
Violet red.
Violet red.
What
What is the hue of violet, technically?
Well,
is
it's
it
purple, right?
purple?
Like our dioxazine violet is very dark, reddish purple. So if you want a reddish violet tone, again, the dark plum that I just showed is a good version of that. It's maybe a little too reddish, right? You don't have the purplishness to it, but you then just start mixing to get you where you like. Dark purple and royal purple and magentas mixed in can get you there too. So there's a lot of fun things you can do to get those types of colors, depending on, because there's not really, like in pigment, the violet pigment I can get without having to mix anything. So our dioxazine violet single pigment in the expert colors, but it's very, very dark. And then when you want to brighten it, just like we just talked about, you've got to think like, okay, where do you want your hue to go? Because you can darken it with dark blues and cool it off. You can darken it with magenta, or brighten it with magentas, or darken it with magentas and warm it up. Keep that reddishness to it. It's really up to you.
The Grand Deceiver says, "Is there a workup for an African American flesh? I find it very tricky, and I've struggled with both shadow highlights. I've struggled with both shadow and highlights without just using brown in quotes. African American flesh.
So remember that human skin is all variations of brown, right? And so when I want to paint darker flesh, whether it be like Central African dark or South American dark or Middle Eastern dark, I like starting with something like black brown and then adding in advanced flesh tone or shadow flesh into it, whichever one. Shadow flesh is going to be a little bit more pinkish and advanced flesh tone is going to be a little bit more yellowish. So I think for advanced flesh tone, we're talking about things like Middle East, dark Asian skin tones, things like that. A little bit more leaning into the yellowish, and then the pinkish for the African and the South American skin tones. And so start with a good dark base like black brown, and then add a flesh tone into it. And you're talking about just spots of flesh tone as you go. But remember, as you get to the highlight areas on the darkest skin, it still brings in kind of like Caucasian mid-tone colors.
Yeah.
Right? So think in terms of all humans on a scale. You've got albino, which is nearly, paper thin white over here, and very pale flush reds and bright flesh tones. And then you go all the way towards the blackest blacks, where you have like purple shadow on the skin, and then Caucasian in the middle. And they're all just drifting by showing more or less of your mid-tone versus your shadow and your highlight. But you can always think of, like, if you have a skin tone you really like, somebody mentioned like Bugman's Glow, or you got some dwarf flesh you like on all your skin, think of it as your center point, and then move it to where it doesn't show very much and just goes darker, the darker you want your flesh to be, right? And then it starts as maybe your shadow and goes brighter for really pale flesh. Right? So there's always a sliding scale of color that we're using, especially as skin tones for humans. Aliens take on their own existence, but you can still think of it the same way. And so if I say that my general mid-tone for flesh is shadow flesh, I really love shadow flesh, right? And then I say, okay, well then from shadow flesh, I can go darker to dark flesh, right? For just a Caucasian skin tone, I might go dark flesh, shadow flesh, tan flesh, right? And then maybe a peach flesh highlight, okay? And that would give me, like, my skin tone. It gives me good shadow, but I don't have to go too dark. It gives me good mid-tone, and then my highlight happens, right? But now let's say I want to do African skin tone out of this. Okay, well, these colors I'm going to leave tan flesh. Peach flesh, probably not, unless it's sweaty skin and you need a really bright, shiny, because there's wetness to it. And then I'll move into where I'm wanting to pick up, like, black brown. Right? So I'll go black brown added in there. And now the same way these two colors were the highlight colors for my Caucasian flesh, right? Now these two colors are my highlight colors and don't really live on the model a whole lot, but these two colors make up, this is the mid-tone, right? And now these make up your highlight. And if you wanted to switch it out, like I said, and not go so pink, you want more Middle Eastern, then you go to advanced flesh tone, a little bit more yellow there, right? The tan flesh can still work, or you can go to like bright shadow flesh for your highlight, right? And you can see how if I take away this one and I go here and I put something like dark purple as my shadow, right? Now I've got an even darker skin tone, because now these two are the highlights that I don't have a whole lot of on the model. These become my main colors, right? Does that make sense? So again, when we look at it with kind of a natural progression, these might swat because advanced flesh tone's a little bit brighter actually. Same here and then here, right? With these 8 colors, you could do any human skin tone. And of course, we've got things like burnt umber and beige red that you can throw in there too, that kind of switch it. You could take dark flesh out and put burnt umber in there if you didn't want it so red in the midtones, So you could imagine doing this like that, right? We've just taken a lot of the reddishness out. If you take the purple away, now you've got a really toned down skin, right? That looks a little bit more tan, right? So,
Grand Deceiver says, "Thank you. That was a great example using the paints. It made a lot of sense."
You are very welcome.
The Mo you know.
The Mo, we know Mo.
I clipped that too. There you go. Lots of clipping. Bing, 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 bing. Welcome back, Flapjack. It's been a minute. Chat, it's my first day back at work after 2 weeks off, and I have one thing to say. I want to go back on vacation. There you go.
I hear that.
Carlos says, the knowledge here, man, what I've been doing with my life not watching you all. Hey, 2 to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time.
Look at that.
And if you need to know what Monument Standard Time is, just look up Phoenix, Arizona.
The
That's
info's
who we're
good,
at.
even in the cheap seats.
That's right. Hey, there ain't no cheap seats. Flapjack. Monument. At Gen Con, I forgot to tell Gabe to tell Chris he looks great if you're blind.
What? Who's that?
Flapjack. I
Damn,
appreciate you, Flapjack. And welcome back.
There's no love in this room.
You're
Chris.
canceled. Derpstick says, what tones would beige red give you? More pinkish, question mark? Beige
No, it
red.
kind of takes the pink out, right?
Beige red does?
Beige red takes the pinkish out a little bit. It's still a warmer tone, but it's not. It's gonna feel more like a brown than a pink, if that makes sense. Not that any of them feel overly brown or overly pink until you get to black brown, of course.
Wow, is someone insulting Chris without me partaking, says Little Billy? Unacceptable. Yeah, Little Billy, where you at? Other people. This is what happens. Trendsetters.
You gotta protect him, little Billy.
No,
this is
I
your
will
boy.
not. I will not take your slings and arrows any longer, chat. I've decided.
He's lying.
Banhammer.
He's lying.
Gavel. A lot of good info. A lot of good questions, chat. It is the top and the bottom of the hour. Welcome in.
That's not how that works.
We're so
Chris.
glad you're here. We are Monument Hobbies, and by we, I mean me and Jason and you, the people. We're all Monument Hobbies. And we're so glad you're here. Jason, what are you painting up? For the people just coming in.
I'm working on our Saturnine Praetor,
Oh,
and I am doing the non-metallic steel, I guess. I don't know. Whatever
Okay.
this would be.
I would say non-metallic metal bits.
Well, yeah, but I'm doing we've done the gold. Now we're
That's
doing
true.
this, whatever
Steelish stuff.
steelish stuff is. I don't know what it would be. You know, in the 40K world, what's it called? I don't know. It's not steel. It's ceramite. I don't know.
Ceramite. That sounds like a cleaning solution.
Yes, it does. But
Ah,
that's one of the things. They have,
ceramite.
so there
Get
you
the
go.
grease off of your countertops.
There you go. So I'm
Flapjack says, managed a silver in a painting competition at Gen Con. Nice.
fantastic.
Hopefully you painted with all pro acrylic paints. Little Billy says, listen up, chat. Only I can make fun of Chris, with the exception of everyone is still allowed to make fun of Chris. There you go.
Oh man, that
a little-
didn't really seem like
I
that
like
gave
it.
you any exclusivity at all.
I like it.
I don't like it. I won't stand for it. He says.
No.
He won't stand for it. Chat. He'll sit. But
Get it? Wait a second. Say it again. There it is.
I won't do it.
You're all the reason why I wake up in the morning, chat.
That didn't feel very heartfelt there.
No, it
Christopher.
came straight from my heart.
Didn't feel
You're
very
all
heartfelt
the
there,
reason
Christopher.
why I come to work and show up and put on my best face. Just for you, chat. Oh, I misclicked that button. So Derpstick saying, so where would beige fall in the skin tone, the skin workup? Midtone, replacing one of the other midtones? Question mark.
Beige red? What are we talking about?
Just beige. So where would beige, just beige in general, fall in the skin workup?
Like a mid-tone.
Poop Tenta says, by the time we're done with this Blood Angels army, 4th edition might be out.
That's why I don't do armies.
Oh, he'll dance. You do armies. You do them.
I don't have to.
I guess not. I guess you don't have to, technically. I don't have to, and I won't.
That is definitely not lost on me. That's been my problem with every edition ever.
No, this one, though, is different.
By the time I turn out what I feel is done, it's moved on. Lost me.
Well,
so I'm getting started at the beginning of this edition.
Lumberjack says, I have seen you do an army in a week. This is true. He has done an army in a week.
Yeah, I have. 2,000 points of whatever it was called. Lumineth. Lumineth Realm Lords. I did it.
Nibling says, you keep saying you'll dance, but I've yet to see Jason actually dance.
I don't dance. That's him saying that.
Oh,
he says
he'll
I'll
dance.
I'm not dancing.
Oh, he'll dance.
He's not the boss of me.
Swagger says, question for Jason. Greatest piece of learning during your venture into everything that is Monument Hobbies? Wow.
Ooh.
That's a deep question, Swagger,
Wow.
from left field. Congratulations. That one is the question of the day.
A business question, right?
Greatest piece of learning during your venture into everything that is Monument Hobbies?
My greatest piece of learning.
Your greatest piece of learning that is everything Monument Hobbies.
I mean, there's so many, right? When you run a business and you're on a meteoric climb like Monument has been over the years, you never stop learning. So there is the cliche answer that, I learn every day. What are the biggest things? I think the biggest take, and I'm making this up on the fly, right? Great question. I think that one of the biggest things I've learned is in business, you have to trust yourself first. Anytime I have reached outside my own trust of myself, I've wound up feeling like we messed up, right? Whether we're in business relationships, product ideas, whatever. Although all the product ideas come from me, so I can't really say I didn't trust myself on that. But yeah, I think you got to trust yourself first, right? If it feels bad, don't do it. If it feels good, go for it, right? But be honest and trust. Now, that becomes harder and harder the bigger your business grows. We have 36 employees we have to think about and take care of now. So there's a lot of other nuances to decision making. I can't just be as crazy and off the cuff as I was when we started. Jen and I have to think about a lot more, right? And include a lot of other people in the decision-making process. But by and large, I think that's the case for me, at least, is to, remember to trust yourself before you go in and trust others. Really be able to look at everything you're doing, make sure you're doing it for the right reasons. Monument's never been about, when Jen and I started this back in 2016, we started this whole company idea, and it was never about what it would make. We constantly get asked by business people like, hey, what's your exit strategy? What was your plan for this? And I was like, the plan was to, from a monetary aspect, was to be able to pay the mortgage and feed the dogs. That's our plan. And that part's working. But we never thought beyond that. And so it's really just, I think we do it because we love it. People ask me what I'd be doing if I wasn't here right now, and I'd be doing this. I'd be painting some war dolly. Maybe on stream, maybe off. I think that kind of trust in yourself is what I'm talking about. Why do you do this? Always trust you're doing it for the right reason. I think that would be my answer. Is that a good one?
I think so.
Does that work?
I think so. Group 6 said, whoops, forgot to write the red in beige. Okay, so you're talking about beige red. But yeah, would beige red be a good mid-tone for dark purple and black brown or dark umber? ?
Dark umber, for sure.
D-Fresh says, army painting is so daunting. I get so lost in painting. My infantry takes 6 hours, but dang, does it look good.
That's the thing, right?
It's
We talk about this all the time, is you have to dictate what you want an army to be. Are you painting it to play with it, and you just need it to play with because you don't like playing with gray models, and so it can happen to where I paint 2,000 points in a week? Great. What I've learned about myself is that the game doesn't drive me, the painting drives me. You guys have known this for years. And so from that perspective, does painting the army to have it painted to play with make the big difference, or does having it look good make the big difference? And for me, it's having it look good. You know, because my armies are going to sit in the case more than they're going to be on the table. So I have to make sure they, you know, represent what I spent all that time on correctly when they sit in the case. And I stick to that. I don't have a problem with that. I don't get embarrassed by saying it. I don't care if I don't finish armies. There's no pressure on me. People walk in here and, you know, make jokes about it. It doesn't bother me at all. I know. If I were here to finish every model would be finished. But I paint for, well, largely I paint, you know, most of my private painting time is not really private. I do it here with you guys. And most of it is to help explain concepts and, you know, come up with cool ideas that hopefully inspire you guys.
Sharky Rhino says, did I miss the non-metallic gold? Is Jason going to go back to it still? Can you give us a reminder of your non-metallic gold work up on this guy?
The gold was done starting with a base of dark yellow green, followed by yellow green. And then over the yellow green, we did orange yellow. And then after the orange yellow, we did, what did I do after orange yellow?
It's on your palette somewhere.
Is it?
Yeah, that's
boy,
the same palette.
Yeah, they cleaned up all my paints. So,
after the orange yellow, did you do bright
yellow
ochre?
I think I added in bright yellow ochre to the orange yellow.
Yep.
Or no, I just did bright yellow ochre. I didn't do any mixing.
It's right there.
So I just did bright yellow ochre after the orange yellow, and then bright pale yellow.
Yep. Bright yellow ochre.
So I'll pull them all out. That tends to help people. So dark yellow green, if you can back out a little bit. Yellow green. Right. Orange yellow, part of our amp line. Right. And then
bright yellow ochre.
Bright yellow ochre. And then bright pale yellow. That's it. Das ist alles. And it gives you a really good look.
I think so. I think it's a cool look to me. Very nice.
I didn't want to go with the orange backdrop on this because of the red, right? You get too much warmth in all of your colors. So I tend to stay away from using really warm colors underneath. I had done this test model a long time ago. So you can see where I went back with the orange yellow and glazed the orange yellow in a little bit to see how hard it would be to change my test model over to look like what we did here. And I think it nails it. It just was lacking the orange yellow.
Lumberjack says, I've been coming around here since I started painting in 2020. I have Fuse to thank for the majority of the progress over the years. Your descriptions of techniques click. I'm always so happy to see comments that come in about how much you help everyone, because I'm one of those everyone's. Nice.
Dude, Tim, thank you. Yeah, the community is great. You know, you guys will never understand how much you support me just by hanging out and asking questions, right? You give me the kind of ability to talk and to spread my love of the hobby. That's great. And, you know, I've always said it. If I can just have, you know, one person feel like they found joy in painting miniatures and had a light bulb go off because of something they learned through the stream, that's awesome. I love it.
Little Billy says, back to skin tones, what colors would you use to paint up some bruised or blood-flayed skin?
Well, obviously the low-hanging fruit in that is to start with a purple shadow or dark blue, you know, something that's in that bruisey tone, greens even, depending on how dead and sickly I wanted it to look. Greens can work really well. So,
Black Wolf, 77 months. Cram day. Thank you, guys.
thank you,
That's
thank
awesome.
you. Yeah, so greens, purples, yellows tend to be the color of bruising. You know, you can get like dark plum in there too if you want it to be like blood bruise type looking stuff. Those work too.
But since I started watching streamers, leveled up my skills, which enabled me to enjoy painting even more. That's
Awesome.
That's the core
See,
of why we do
that's
it.
the reality, is that nobody has to be a pro painter, right? You may want to, you know, paint commissions and be known worldwide for your abilities. That's great. You can get there, right? But it doesn't mean that by leveling up your skills, you still don't gain something. And that's where I live, is in that world where I think everybody has more fun if they can, at the end of their painting session, feel like it was time well spent. And that means a lot of different things to a lot of different people. Well spent can mean got a lot done. Well spent can mean looks great. Any, you know, in between portion of that. And we're here to help you get to whatever that means to you. Not just with cool products. Although, hey, buy some Pro Acryl. There
Hey,
you go. Help us keep the lights on. There you go. Some marketing in the middle of all this.
That too.
Buy some Pro Acryl. It'll change your life.
That's our ask. Give us a try. That's it. Have fun and give us a try. That was free pub, yes. And by the way,
Wait,
our free pub ain't
No free
This ain't free pub. This is just pub.
No free pub for those monument guys. Wait a minute.
That's pub. That's what we call publicity. Little Billy says, speaking of time well spent, welcome in everybody. Glad you're here. Hey, Little Billy, that's our line. Thank you. Glad you're here. Thanks for doing our job, Little Billy.
Keep that guy around.
I guess so. Artistic got a lot. For me, well spent is any time I spent putting paint on plastic.
Yes.
And the Nobel Peace Prize goes to Artistic Outlaw. That's exactly what's up. Just put paint on the model. Couldn't have said it better. Ooh. Dappery says, today I finally completed my PA collection. I now have one of each. Nice.
What the heck? That's awesome.
If Chris was really doing proper publicity, he'd be wearing a Monument logo cap. I'll get one. You're right, Agrippa. Blue Tempest said, I had to make an Excel document to track my paints because I was buying too much Pro Acryl.
Too much.
Can you buy too much Pro Acryl?
Not possible.
I don't think so.
11 out of 10 doctors say it's not possible to have too much Pro Acryl.
That's right. Nibling says, I just enjoy painting and improving. I paint while listening to this stream. So I absorb Jason's wisdom while also listening to our resident court jester. That's why I'm here.
The comic relief.
You have to have a little bit of 80-20. That's what they pay me the bucks for, chat.
The big bucks.
The big bucks. Just finished airbrushing burnt red. This is from Aaron. Just finished airbrushing burnt orange, then yellow over it for a Space Wolf Mini. Nice. I'm about to have a mental breakdown for 45 minutes. Uh-oh. Any tricks so I don't end up in the loony bin? Are you talking about tips on airbrushing, Aaron? I think that's what you're talking about.
Yeah, let me know what you need tips on.
I don't know what you're meaning, but if you're getting a bunch of clogs, less paint. That changed my life.
Such an easy one.
It is, but
it's such a hard one to get used to.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, wait, do you fill the cup? Nope.
A couple drops goes a long way.
Yep.
That's
really
it.
does.
Panic Bob. ABC Chris, always be closing. Hey, that's why I'm here, chat. A, B, C.
This is a heavy marketing stream.
Heavy.
Anybody that's been here long enough knows
That's what we do.
all we do.
We show off amazing products and then have you buy them. Oh, wait. We do that anyway. We use the awesome stuff. We do the science for you.
Guy was telling me, he's like, yeah, but if you ever make a mistake, you guys just edit it. It's really easy. And I'm like,
I've never done that in my entire
I was
life.
like, wait.
Actually,
You realize everything we do is live,
it's
right?
false. Even if I wanted to edit the live streams, which you can do, I don't do that because it takes forever.
Oh, Jesus.
So
Can you imagine?
we take snippets, obviously, but like I've said in the past, if you ever watch our videos, going off what Jason said, you can always watch the full painted owl. And every bit of the owl painted, I always put those in the descriptions of our tutorial videos. So Michael Holt says, so this afternoon I started my Jade Blades of Cain. Oh,
Nice.
nice.
Sounds good.
What is it? August's challenge, Jason, is jade themed. Painting something in jade, like an overall jade theme.
Okay. Jade has to be the color we get out of it.
Yeah,
when we look
like
at it.
the whole story should be. It should say jade. That's the prompt.
Okay, I get it.
Whatever that means to you.
That seems pretty cool.
Is dark magenta a good undercoat for jade? Is it Michael Holtz is asking. Sorry, I didn't finish that question. Dark magenta, a good undercoat for jade.
I would try it, sure. You know, you can get away. I feel like magentas and stuff, when you start playing in that red-green area, you're going to need some other coloring to help you along, right? Purple, something to bridge the gap. Dark blue, right? Something to make sure that you don't kind of wear out your welcome with that pink and green, red and green combo. While they work well together, it can be very tricky.
It was almost jade theme, but no, it's jade, not jade theme. It's jade theme. Tadpole Jackson, to clarify, no free pub for Gabe.
Jade themed would mean don't paint it.
Whoa! Wow.
Right?
Oh no. Oh no. Gabe, I don't know if he's out there listening, but the gauntlet has been thrown many times. A lot of hostility today. Hey, let's just
I
make
haven't
sure
been hostile about anything.
let's just make sure that we all calm down, chat.
This is Captain Jason spitting facts.
Captain Jason. There it is. J Money from the balcony. Spitting facts.
Spitting facts.
Spitting them facts. Shots fired. Gabe is down now. Yeah, he's done. We'll get him to paint.
Oh, Gabe paints.
Oh, he paints.
He does it in spurts.
He does it in spurts. I'm always trying to get him to do some painting.
He's been a big fan of the paint night here.
That's right.
And
We'll
it's
play
been
some
really-
Kill Team on Friday, chat.
Yeah, I know, right?
Could be fun. Be a fun little outing, right?
Yeah, we've got a lot of the gang from work here that are going to go and hang out with me and my buddy Blake at Mock's boarding house. They've got some food there.
Got a fully painted team.
Be a lot of fun.
Nibling, does painting a jade base count if it tells the story?
No, wait a minute. Why do I have a really bad feeling about this? I have
No.
a very bad feeling about this.
Jade. Paint something jade. Carlo says, what are the rules to enter the monthly painting and certain ruled models for that? Okay. In our Discord, every month we have a challenge. Feel free to submit. You have to go into our Discord and go into the challenge section, and you'll see that month's challenge. At the very top, you'll see a pinned message telling you all of the details. You take a picture. It has that all written out for you. Models, we just, ask it to be, we have to show it live, so we might have to blur some things if it's adult content essentially, but most everything is fine. But yeah,
we tried to tell you to keep it safe for work.
that's right.
Just so we can show it, because we really want to be able to show it off. And we've had some people do some models that are not safe for work, and we just have to kind of keep them out of the public eye, and that kind of sucks.
And that's not us. That's just because we just can't do that on YouTube and Twitch. So just keep that in mind. But that's it. And then they all have a theme. So Carlos, go check out our Discord, which here's the link. And feel free to compete. There's a bunch of people who do it. And then every month we review it, and you might get a little prize. Little prizey prize. Big Ducky says, Kill Team GW's best game. Okay. I'm interested. Skirmish games have been on my forefront. Esfis says, how do you keep the model so centered in frame? I've tried this and I move it all over the place, and that is what we call 9 years of camera experience.
It is very hard, and
that
I
is
don't
why.
do it very well all the time, so I feel bad.
It just takes time. You have to practice, and I would say practice at home. Download OBS for free. Put your webcam where you think it is, and then practice. I literally do that at home too. Plus, Jason paints a certain way, so our cameras are angled in the way he paints. So, better tip is to angle your cameras the way you paint.
One big thing is that I paint at a standing desk, have for the better part of 9 years. When we first started, I sat, and then it quickly went to standing desk. And so, can you pop out to the furthest zoom?
Yep, that's it. I can zoom out even more with the lens.
Yeah. So you'll see, like, when I'm on the table, basically my arm is resting on the table. I'm standing. The desk is at my elbow height. So I literally just take my arm and boonk, set it on the table. And then I lean into my arm to where my arm is carrying the weight of me on the table. And so wherever I put my arm and center the model, and I zoom back in, right? That is centered. So I can move it with my wrist and get out of frame, but you don't really move that way. So for me, I just put my elbow where I need to where when I'm holding the model, it's centered. And then everywhere I move in and around that, it keeps it pretty stable. I still, like, every now and then you'll find me turning something upside down like this to get to a point you can't see.
But at that point, it's so small, you just have to do that to get to the model.
Yeah, so there's random bits of the model that you won't see me paint because of that. But I try to keep in frame, obviously, most of the time.
I keep him and Baby J honest, chat. That's why I'm here.
He sure tries to.
I try. I definitely try. Watt says, pop out a chicken. Whoa. We won't do that.
How does it sound when you pop a chicken? That's a duck. It's literally a duck. It's literally a duck. Not a chicken.
Billy Bob PA says, I went to Gen Con and threw my love all over your booth. Wizard's butt is a delicious, as they say. False, don't eat the paint. Threw my love. Well, we're so glad you gave them some rip-roaring good memories. And hopefully, if you were all at Gen Con this past week, the crew got back. They had a very fun time, sounds like. Big nerd show.
Big nerd show.
Anakin Skyhumper says, tips for painting with a dry palette in 90-degree heat. My paints keep drying on the palette.
It's 100 and something here.
It is, I'm sorry. I didn't give a weather update. It is technically 113 out. It is the hottest part of the day. Tips on keeping your paint from not drying.
I mean, it's always going to dry. So the first thing is don't worry about it. I know that's not great what you want to hear, but, put less paint out, put it out more often.
Yeah. It's just
is a good way to think about it.
Don't spread it too, right?
Yeah, the big
They'll
thing I
spread it
talk
thin?
about is just make sure you're not spreading your paint too thin. When you look at mine, I'm literally dipping the tip into the paint.
Yeah.
Right,
that's
so I don't spread any of them. You'll see this where I'm mixing them. So this is white, blue, or bright pale yellow into Payne's gray, and you'll see me mix it and draw it out. And then I just go back and grab a little bit more, put it back in there, mix it out. So this will dry very quick. Anytime you spread your paint out flat like this, it dries really quick. So don't do that. Keep it in a droplet. So here's my droplet of white blue that I've been using all day, and it's still working. I mean, I put white blue out on the palette like maybe 2 or 3 times.
Yeah.
So it will dry up. But that's the biggest thing. Don't let it get spread out too thin. You'll see a lot of painters on the internet doing that with their palette, right? Because it's easy for them to get it in the shot for their video.
Yeah.
But you shouldn't be doing that. You know, they'll just like manhandle the paint around.
Just like life. Can't spread it too thin, chat.
All things in balance. But you really do just want to try to keep the paint in as close to the form that it came out of the bottle in. So don't thin the droplet. Take some paint over to another area to thin if you need it thinner. Stuff like that.
Tadpole Jackson says, wow, Chris is laying it on thick now. That's right. I've gone from
Does he ever not lay it on?
goofy goober to really think about where your life is, chat. You know, where are you? What are you doing? Get back on the metaphorical tracks of life, chat. That's what I'll say to you. Bushman says, is the steel the same workup as the YouTube short by chance? Not the exact workup, but similar. That one was an old one we did quite a bit ago.
This is Payne's gray and bright pale yellow.
And that's it.
That's it.
And
But then
then
white blue
white
at the
blue,
end. Yeah,
white
white
blue.
blue at the end here.
No, Agrippa, he does not. At some point, does Jason listen to the word salad coming out of Chris's mouth and go, why did I make the decision that led me here? Oh, he does the second part.
Daily.
You're the male role model we all need. Poop Tempest, I'm going to steal that and assume you're talking to me. So thank you. Even though I know you're talking about Jason. And yeah, I stole it from you. Thank you, Poop Tempest. You're my only hope.
We're doomed.
Agrippa, I won't click that link. We don't like links in here, Agrippa. You're banned. Fired. You're a good person, probably. Fired. Mo says, Jason, is Chris one of those guys who likes to hear themselves talk? False. I don't. Don't answer that, Jason. Don't do that. I do it for the people. I do it for the people.
I do it for the people.
Agrippa says that was a mistake, much like Chris's career. Oh, I haven't made a mistake.
Wow.
I've made the best decision of my life.
After you today, Chris.
You know what?
What'd you do?
It's because somebody has to do it. Just
Somebody
like
has to do what?
You know, somebody's got to take the slings and arrows. There has to be a yin and a yang. You know?
Does there? Why?
Perfect balance.
I don't think that that's what the stream is built on.
Perfect balance?
Well, I mean, there's a perfect balance, but it doesn't have to have a bad
Prisoner,
part.
I know. Why so much hostility this afternoon? First, Jason called out Baby J publicly and said, yo, 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 I'm going to take you down. And then Baby J's like, yo, I ain't taking that. And then it just got downhill from there. It was crazy, man.
None of those words were spoken.
Jason was like, I'm coming after you, Baby J. My name's Jason, and you're Baby J. And then Baby J was like, well, I guess I've got my Black Templar on my desk, and I'm going to throw down some gauntlet. Rewind the VOD, everybody. You'll get caught up.
This is Chris, chat. This is Chris.
Knively, why are we going after Chris? Because he scared us with the K-Cup comment? Hey, I thought it was a K-Cup on the model. Sue me. I thought it was a K-Cup. It looked like one.
I don't understand.
I thought the model from one of the challenge pieces had a little K-Cup.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
But of course it didn't.
It was definitely
because
a K-Cup.
why would a model have a K-Cup?
Well, because I thought it was like a 90s thing, like where 90s, like I think that's when I don't know. K-Cups were invented in the 90s. And then I said raw dog and a K-Cup because I thought she was putting the K-Cup in her coffee cup. So apparently everybody just has fun. Is Chris the guy in the meme protecting Jason from chat's arrows? Yes, that's me. I'm the first line of defense.
Like the dad?
That's right.
The father figure leaning, or the space marine leaning over the...
That's right.
The person? No, that's not him at all. He doesn't protect me from anything.
Jason, what are you talking about?
Chris throws me under the bus all the damn time.
What? This is false. This is false. I won't let this. I'm going to edit this part out. Speaking of editing, we'll edit this out. David G, first time chat. Welcome in. Hey guys, big fan of ProCrow.
Thank you.
A friend only just pointed me in the direction of your channel and I didn't know it even existed. Wow.
Well,
I was
welcome.
wondering, do you have a contact address for collabs/sponsorships? You can always submit to support. We have a Monumentals program here that you can apply for. We have some, you can go to our website and check that out. But yes, you can do that. Contact support. We're all into that kind of stuff. But so glad that you have gotten here now, today. So welcome. It was a J cup? No, I don't think so. What? Tapple Jackson, what is this K cup thing you're all talking about? I don't know. It doesn't exist.
You don't want to know.
Is there a clip? No. There's a clip, but I won't promote it. No free pub for these people.
No free pub for
Why
these
does Chris put K cups in his coffee? No, that was canceled. Everybody's canceled.
Everybody? Jeez, whoa, that was loud.
We're back. Yeah.
That was
Sometimes
loud.
you have to get serious, Jason.
That was very loud.
We're
And I
painting
don't know
here.
that I'm the one you got to get serious with. I'm sitting here being the most serious one.
We are back.
I am legit the most serious one here.
Nicholas says, without spoiling anything, how many things are you excited about that you are working on in the background that haven't been revealed yet?
Oh my God.
Ooh.
Do
What a
we
great
have some
question.
stuff cooking?
Well.
Yeah, we've got some stuff that I am super hyped about. I haven't been as hyped about a product as I am about something I'm working on right now. Actually, a couple things that I'm working on right now.
Oh. What are they in exact detail?
15 words or less.
That's what chat was about to say.
Yeah, one of them I can't tell you. We've got some new texture trainers coming out that I'm really hyped about because of the artists we're working with. A lot of fun there. We had some artists do some designs for us that I'm really excited to release. One of which is Adrian Smith. I can tell you that. If you know Adrian Smith and you know me, one of my favorite. Adrian Smith did all the hate stuff, which is some of my favorite stuff ever. But as an artist, he's one of my favorite artists. And I don't have a lot of favorite artists, so that means something. So we got Adrian Smith designed 3 characters that will be in texture trainer form for us coming up.
Flapjack says, wait, Adrian Smith for real?
For real. The Adrian Smith. Got 3 characters coming out to paint, which I think you guys are going to really love. A lot of fun there.
TK421. I'm excited about the John Deere collab. Seeing Chris paint Smaug with a tractor equals exciting.
Yeah.
Yep.
John Deere collab, big deal. Lots of big news
We
there.
have decided to invent. Here's kind of a couple things for you guys. We have decided to come up with a line of models that goes on the paint. Do you hear me? We have decided as a company to create models that go on the paint, not paint that goes on the models.
Chris is
Do
insane.
you hear me?
I apologize.
That was in the survey about business ventures. So got a lot of votes.
Oh.
But you want to know what the biggest business venture chat voted for? Was Monument going into the body pillow business of big paint bottles. Big squishy paint bottles you could just hug at night.
Well, we're looking at that. Everybody really liked the one I got. So
Take your hobby to bed. That's the whole tagline there. No, we will not be doing a Tiger Woods merch collab. Now, if we could get Tiger Woods to paint a model on stream, that would actually be cool.
he's your contact.
He's not, and I don't do any of that. It's false. Paints you can eat? No. We can't eat any paint. Although, if we were going to go into that business, bakery paint products would actually be hilarious. Like those fancy cakes, those edible airbrush paints. Hilarious.
Alrighty.
That's looking good.
Alrighty then.
Is that it?
I mean,
For the steel?
that's it for the steel.
I dig it. What's your...
I just have this axe hanging out over here that I haven't
Is it
paid any attention to at all.
Is it a steel axe? What kind of axe is this?
I painted dark warm gray on the blade.
Yep.
Just to get some color on there. And then I stopped. I didn't put any other color on it. So I need to figure out what we will do. I don't want to do the same steel that we just did here.
Great question, Artistic Outlaw. If you decided after you finished the steel here that, in fact, you wanted it to be overall darker, would filtering it with transparent blue or transparent black be the first choice?
I would
darken the
probably
steel?
do
Ooh, that's a good question.
Payne's Gray Wash,
Okay.
right?
Transparent dark might be too dark.
Because I started it with Payne's
Or
Gray, so I
transparent
could put
black.
a Payne's Gray Wash back over it, which would be really cool.
Oh,
Which is not out of the question. Remember, I paint everything like this as if it were brand new first, so he's all shiny because he has so much metal on him. And then, we'll do the armor really clean, and then we'll go back and start weathering it. So there will be some weathering to have done here. We still need to start with red armor highlights.
Is that technically a power axe or not really?
Yeah,
Okay, so it could be glowing potentially.
it's a power axe. It has all the anode spots on it. I don't know what the hell these are, but
Blue power axe, says Blood Walrus. Blue could be cool.
I think I'm gonna do blue for the plasma glow and stuff
Okay.
everywhere.
Nibling says, real question. Have you thought about doing something like a starter set that is a section of 10 paints with a brush and a texture trainer? Could be kind of a neat product for newbie hobbyists. When I started back in March or something, I looked a lot.
Well, we have an intro set that we just re-released at Gen Con that should hit the website here real soon. And it's 12 paints, right?
Yep.
I think it's 12.
I think it's 12.
12 paints, and includes a brush-on primer, 3 brushes, 3 of the Dauntless brushes, which include, I think, the BAB and a number 2 and a number 5.
I was looking for it.
I think it's the number 2, the number 5, and the BAB. I might be wrong on that. But it
We'll
comes with 3
announce it.
Dauntless brushes, 12 paints, and it's like $60.
It's actually an amazing set.
So
it is
you basically get brushes for free. Buy the
it
paints,
is
get the brushes
one
for
of the
free.
best holiday gifts if you want to try to explain to somebody like, yo, if you want to get into it, here you go.
Yeah.
So plus it has it's a cool set. But yeah, we'll announce that on social when it goes live on the website.
Yeah.
Kenny says glowy metallic pink axe.
No. Interesting, but no.
Interesting. No.
Poop Tempest, you sleep with your BAB next to you every night. Me too.
Okay, so body pillows is the way. We get it.
Body pillows is the way.
I don't make this stuff up, Jeff.
You do, actually.
This is literally straight
you
from your
literally
mouth.
make this stuff up.
I don't. It's in the survey, Jason.
Which was made up by
Wait a minute. Hold.
you.
Chat.
You did it.
You did it, chat.
No, you did it.
I just hold up the mirror.
No, it's in. Oh, Chad. How do you let him get away with this? How do you let him treat you this way?
What? Chat? They can take it. Rattlecan, is that set any choice of paints. No, it's like its actual own set of paints.
Yeah, it's predetermined. It's fated, chat. Fated. We call it.
Faded.
Fate. Fated.
Panic Bomb, I am not a tyrant. You said Chris is a tyrant. We have no choice. No.
I mean, he's not far off, Chris.
Every drama needs a villain.
Chris's group doesn't have an opportunity to not like ambient lighting.
Well, that's just a very important part of our workflow, you know.
It's forced upon them.
Forced upon, but it reminds people that...
Here we go.
No, you're right. It might be forced upon them.
You force it upon them.
But there's a reason why we do it, chat.
Here it goes. This is exactly how it all starts.
I'm not going to go into it.
This is how all modern despots start.
No, I'm not going to go into it.
Of course not, because then we would see through your ruse.
Because I don't want to get derailed. I know what chat's doing. Chat baits me a lot. And then I have to remember that this is a serious business painting stream. And Jason is painting up scritches and scratches and doots and deets. And that's what's important here. Not how I try to implement ambient lighting to the team. Great question for Artistic Outlaw. Do you all ever get worried about overall business when other companies come out with the improved, in quotes, line? In other words, how do you guys approach market in terms of competition?
Good question. You know, we've said a lot that no business is being run smart if you don't pay attention to what the industry is doing. Mm-hmm. So we look at the industry as a whole and we say, okay, what are the trends? What are people like, you know, the painters of the community out there looking for? What are our competitor manufacturers doing to offer new products and things like that? But we typically don't care very much what they do. Again, because we are different in that we only make the products we use. And because we paint more than all of them in reality, we trust ourselves, right? You know, I don't know if it was the same person that asked the question before, but you know, it's trust in yourself first. And so we paint here with you guys every day and really believe that, you know, we kind of guide our own hand in terms of painting a lot of miniatures, looking at what works, what doesn't, what we wish we had, what we, you know, can't live without, what we can. And then we just kind of guide our product development off of that. Now, I've got some really cool stuff coming out that is super rad that I hope sees the light of day. You know, I always am in product development. You're always kind of like, okay, is this going to work? Is the dream going to come alive?
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, we watch. As far as like the new and improved, most companies don't make their own paint, so they have to switch their factory partners a lot. You know, maybe a place that made paint for them went under. Maybe they made paint in China and they can't get it anymore. Who knows? So a lot of them will redo their formula, so to speak. You know, because they have to go to a new manufacturer.
Yeah.
You know, our ego lets us say that, hey, you know, we've been around for 8 years and everybody's still trying to copy us. So we don't really feel like we got to change our formula. But there is a confidence in knowing that, you know, I trust the quality of our paint implicitly. And I don't, you know, there's not a need to make a Pro Acryl 2.0. It works great. Nothing wrong with it. But yeah, I would be silly to not pay attention to what they're doing. Right now, there are a lot of companies out there who are making paint for, you know, whatever reason, in a clogged market. So that makes it a little tough. You know, I know that everybody out there always asks me, like, what do you think about so-and-so and this and such? And they're making paint. Why are they doing that? And I don't know, because they want to make money. They see that paint is a good way to, you know, bolster their revenue. So I can't begrudge them that. A lot of choices of paint out there.
That's right.
I think if anything, it just makes us feel, you know, even more, I don't know what the right term is, blessed, elated that you guys trust in us to use our paint.
Yeah.
In a world that's clogged with choices. So we totally appreciate that.
And we focus on our community. That's also a big part of our culture internally and externally. You know, obviously we make great products, but we also want you to have this kind of experience and whatever that brings you. So that's why we do this every day.
Yeah.
Husker Do, a miniature streamer that actually, first time chat, welcome in. Miniature streamer that actually has a good camera angle. I appreciate that. That's why I gave you all those hearts. Michael Holt says, "Isn't there a replacement for Salamander Texture Trainer?" ?
Coming out at Nova. All of the Nova texture trainers are limited release. And I say that in terms of like once they're sold for a year. So the 2024 Nova Open saw the first inaugural texture trainer.
Yep.
And the Salamander. And then it goes off of sale at the onset of Nova this year, 2025. And we have the Kieran that I showed off on stream.
Yep. If you want to go check that out, go check it out on July 25th, Christmas in July. We showed it towards the beginning.
Yep. So you will no longer be able to get the Salamander after the end of August. End of this month. Nova Open. If you've been wanting one, grab one. They won't be coming back.
Tadpole Jackson runs to buy the Salamander.
Yeah, we don't do FOMO stuff, but you had a year.
Yeah.
So it's like
hey, at this point, no spoilers, but
yeah, no spoilers.
If you're not already, if you already haven't grabbed one, grab it.
And then the Kieran will last for the rest of this year. And then we'll go hopefully into 2026 when the time comes.
Killjoy says, "Will there be a new Nova color?"
No.
Nope, just you can get Nova Orange online right now too, by the way.
Yeah, Nova their logo is orange.
Mm-hmm.
Orange, and
that was the whole workup for that.
So they don't have a multicolored logo, orange and white, basically.
Anakin Skyhumper says, "If somebody wanted to submit some 3D models for y'all to consider for texture trainers, how would one go about that?"
You can contact me personally. It's jason@monumenthobbies.com. Don't everybody send me emails, I swear to God.
Maybe just do support. Actually, support is also a very good way you could do that. It will get funneled. And I don't just say that. Our support team and us getting emails, that's exactly how we get things done here. So
yeah, they funnel them all to me.
Yep.
But yeah, it all comes to me. I do all the principal design work. I do all of our character design work, even if it's just in conceptual design right now. But, you know, we work with other people. Like right now with the Adrian Smith, he had a carte blanche. So I told him what my goal for the series of 3 texture trainers that I wanted him to do was, and then let him run with it. I had no idea what he was going to turn around. He turned around 3 amazing characters, as you would expect. So yeah, I don't usually get solicited or take solicitations for art that I don't come up with, but that doesn't mean that we couldn't look at something you've done. And
Lumberjack says, "Lies, you make Wizard's butt and have serious FOMO over all the colors I don't have."
well,
we do too.
That is the truth.
We've built in our own FOMO here, by the way, Lumberjack, because that same feeling you have is what we have when the color goes away. It's like, wait a minute.
Yeah, remember.
What have we done? We've done this to ourselves.
If I fall in love with a Wizard's butt color,
there was 12 yellow Wizard's butt made. 12. So that's FOMO.
Yeah.
Built in. But that's a different kind of FOMO. That's more of rarity, legendary, rather than FOMO.
We don't sell it. That's how I sleep with myself at night.
It giveth away. It comes and goes. It flies and butts, whatever you wanted to call it.
Yeah, we've never sold a bottle of Wizard's butt, I don't think.
Agrippa says, can we send Jason the concept designs for Jason and Baby J body pillows? Sure.
I will not do that.
Why not? Send it away.
I will not participate.
If you come up with a Jason and Baby J body pillow that's not AI designed, please send it to us.
Do not send that. I know where all of you live.
Yeah, you could go pester Jason on Discord. Panic Bomb. If I wanted to pester Jason, I'd do it on Discord. Hey, speaking of Discord, here's a link to our Discord where you can find all of this debauchery 24/7.
That is true.
So you never have to miss a dang thing because we're there, we're here. Wad says, if you think there's going to be a 2026, that's a bold move, Cotton. Let's see if it pays out. Hey, God willing, we got a 2026, chat. Rattlecan says, make the new trainer be a Sir Fly holding poop. Lord, bzz.
Wait a minute.
He's already out there.
I feel like we just did that. I feel like that exists.
Hoop Tempter says, why did Jason go with Blood Angels? Is he a vampire? Question mark.
No.
Well, that wasn't convincing.
What?
You just said no,
Yeah.
like, and told us all to shrug it off like you're not a vampire.
I'm not a vampire.
That's what a vampire would say.
Pretty much. I mean, I ain't trying to get stake in the heart. What are you talking about?
I feel like, you know, what that's the way to kill a vampire, right? Which is also the way to kill everybody else.
Right.
So
see,
we could just he was a vampire. He's dead.
No. You're
that it?
missing the point that if you don't do the stake in the heart with a vampire, they just come back.
I see.
Yes, it'll kill anybody, but it's the definitive way.
Bushman says, thanks for the stream, guys. Are you kidding? Bushman says, thanks for the stream, guys. Are you kicking us off here, Bushman? You're welcome, by the way. Jason has been perfecting the Procure formula for centuries. He looks great for a 3,000-year-old.
Thank you.
That's my point.
Thank you for noticing. I try hard. There's a lot of beneficial primping time that goes into this.
That's right. Jason's not a vampire. Just want to make sure that we're all on the same page. Just for all of you who might be concerned. And that's it. That's it for chat. It's 3:59, Jason.
What?
Send us out.
Way.
Send us away.
What?
That's it.
I have to quit?
You do.
No way.
You don't have to quit.
I've got some seconds.
You got some seconds?
Yeah.
Yeah, you do. You have a couple. Breaking rules for... Yeah, that's Panic Bomb. We don't... Break the rules, not the law. Jason always says that.
No, I don't. I hate that guy. False.
False.
To coin one phrase. That, as Chris would say,
That's
false.
right.
I won't do it.
I won't do it, chat. That's all I say. I won't do it.
He does it all the time. He does it all the time, Chad.
Chris, why do you keep breaking the stream? I don't break anything.
Breaks hearts. Makes us quit at 4. Says he listens to what the people want.
I did, and I made them. That's in the survey.
So we're doing this bright, this pale pink, and then we'll go back over this with a red to darken it back up. So I'm doing these kind of Tron bright, highlights. Then we'll darken it back up, and then I will go in with airbrush as well to refine the highlights on the top of the shoulders, on both front and back. But before I do that, I want to get all of the primary edges lit up Then we'll darken them back down and then go back over them again with the pale pink so that in the end you wind up with it looking like this.
I like it. Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a plan.
Sounds like a good plan.
I like it. I'm excited for these guys.
Oh.
They'll have heads and arms, obviously.
Oh. No. Maybe they'll just be like that.
But yeah, I'll just leave them like this. These are my my commanders are on the tall bases. Obviously the bigger
Those are
bases
cool.
for commanders, and then I've got the retinue with them as well. So I got a few dudes, 8 dudes with these winged jetpacks that I found on, I don't know where I found them, Etsy, something.
It's super cool.
Something like that. I don't remember. All right, Chad, he's kicking me out, sending me home. Meanie McMeaner pants. Yes, you heard me.
Meaner.
Says that I have to lead us astray tonight.
Meaner.
After all this love and camaraderie that we have created together, there's always a Judas. he said
Still my beating heart.
Thanks for hanging out, everybody. Hopefully we gave you some good inspiration. We had a lot of great questions today. Flesh tone questions, tint, tone, and shade questions. Awesome stuff. So thank you so much for hanging out with us. Make sure if you're new around here, if you came in on one of the raids, or if you're just stopping by for the first time, make sure to hit the follow button over on Twitch or the subscribe and like button over on the YouTubes. Remember that all of our live streams wind up on the live tab over on our YouTube channel at the end of the stream every day. We do this Monday through Friday from 2 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monument Standard Time here in Phoenix, Arizona. It's MST. Just look it up. We're not lying. And we'd love to see you back here. This week we've got more Blood Angels, I think. What are we doing after the Praetor?
Doing some batch painting.
Oh, like a squad.
You might just do a little squad for
Paint
us.
like all the winged dudes.
Yeah,
Right.
Actually that'd be kind of cool.
All right.
That we were
God
talking
knows
about.
I have a
squad.
lot of Blood Angels to paint.
You
like
do.
50 bajillion Assault Marines. So yeah, we've talked about doing showing you how I would go about batch painting and get a lot done in a short period of time. So I'll probably do that.
Yeah.
But tune back in. That'll be the whole week. I think I'm here all week, right? I'm here the rest of the week.
Yes. And
Yeah, I believe so.
yeah.
Until Nova, I think. Right?
No, you've got a trip.
Oh, do I have something I
You've
have to
got
go
a
do?
trip.
Dang
Yeah.
it. Well, I'm here most of the time.
Yep.
So thanks for hanging out with us. Make sure to check out the links that Chris put in chat there. The monumenthobbies.com link and the monumenthobbies.eu links will take you to our stores. We have an EU store located out of our warehouse in France, as well as the main HQ here in the US. So you can find Pearl Krill everywhere in the world. The FLGS link will take you to your local gaming stores closer to you and distribution points where you can buy at your local area, drive to your local store, hang out, play games with friends, paint, do all the fun social stuff. Love to see it. And then make sure you check out the Discord where we've got approaching 6,000. Have we crossed 6,000 yet?
5,871 people
So
on
close.
Discord, hoping Chris allows stream to happen tomorrow. Oh, I'll let it happen.
871 people.
Nearly
5,871.
6,000.
I need 129 people to sign up for the Discord tonight. There you go. Tell your friends, tell your family. Get us over
right.
6,000 so that I can say we have nearly 7,000 people in the Discord. Great people, just like you, gang. Lots of inspiration to be had. People that have picked up the brush for the first time, and people that have been painting for a bajillion years like me. So it's a great place to come and learn about the hobby, share your hobby with others, tell bad jokes, meet new friends, hang out, and plan your life together. So we'd love to see you over there. Make sure to stick around. Chris is going to find us somebody to raid, take you with some more hobby goodness into your evening. Make sure to show some love and follows in the chat we wind up in, and we'll catch you back here tomorrow. Adios, gang. I'm out.